Huh?
We're on already? Jeez, man. I didn't even get time to think about who I am as a person. Lance, man, what's going on with you? How you doing today?
What up, though? You all right?
I'm doing very good, man. You brought these to the Babytron Dave Fio video shoot, man. Talk about this, man. I mean, first of all, I love the design, bro. I mean, if you think about it, it's the most distinguishable design you can have for a liquor bottle. At the end of the day, it's a chess piece, goddamn it. Or else can you find something that looks like that? Talk about how you came out with this.
Well, I'm actually the brand ambassador for the company.
Oh, so, brand ambassador. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So, the owners of the company is like two of my closest homeboys, and we just thought that it would be a good idea for us to cross products. They support me, I support them. So, I'm the face of it. You know, they help me push my music. I actually got a song that I did for the company. It's called Philidor Spirits.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, pronounce this one more time for us.
Philidor.
Philidor, man. And now, I remember from the party, it's a combination of whiskey and an agave.
Yep. So the black bottle is an agave whiskey, and this one is a vodka.
Oh, cool. So that's just straight up vodka right there. Okay, cool, man. Is this like a sipping, or is this like mixing, or like what do you do? What do
With this one, you can just chill this, and it's ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, vodka, cranberry, whatever you prefer.
Bloody Marys in particular, if you ever want to have a really good drink, I make crazy-ass Bloody Marys with vodka, bro. You just listen, man. I used to be a bartender. People don't know that, bro. I used to be
really?
Yeah, nah. But I could mix a goddamn drink, though. I used to always tell girls like that. I used to always tell girls, like, I used to be a bartender. It used to work every time, bro. Like, fuck all the other bullshit lines. What's your sign type shit? Just tell me you used to be a bartender. You can fuck up the drink. They won't know.
Yeah. You can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, just make up shit. Just keep making up shit.
You know what? My uncle used to tell me that shit all the time. He told a chick he was a firefighter, and it was his side chick. So the days that he couldn't be around her, he was at the firehouse. Swear to God.
That's a brilliant man. And was he just getting ladies? Was he a ladies' man? He's just always hooking up with somebody new?
Yeah, he married now. You know what I'm saying? He retired that. But
talk a little bit about yourself, man. Are you from Detroit?
Yeah, I'm from Detroit originally. I've lived everywhere. I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi. I lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I lived in Georgia. But I'm born and raised really in Detroit.
Okay, so talk about a little bit about growing up in Detroit, man. Just talk about the lifestyle a little bit for yourself, and how it kind of evolved you to the point you're at now.
Detroit to make a man out of you as a boy, for real. Just growing up, I'm always been involved in music. Like, music has been like the core of my soul. And this is the Motown too, you know what I'm saying? So that coincides. But growing up, I lived east and west. 7 Mile, I lived on east and west 7 Mile. I lived on Claremont. I done pretty much lived everywhere around here.
Now you said it makes a man out of you. What kind of... You felt that about yourself, obviously, when you're saying that. Like, if you feel like it made a man out of you and helped you get to that point, what parts of it, what part of your life do you feel like shifted you to becoming more of a man? And talk about those experiences a little bit.
You got to grow up quick here, you know what I'm saying, or you're going to get ran over, for real. I think everybody could pretty much agree with that. It's a fast, Detroit is fast paced, so just coming up, I mean, I guess that's the best way to put it. You just got to grow up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't grow up quick, then, the repercussions or just the consequences of not knowing how to move and how to act and how to be can deter you a little bit from getting further in life, maybe, or whatnot.
Right, they gonna bully you. Detroit is a big bully. They gonna bully you. They gonna pick on you. You just gotta be a big dog.
Do you think bullying in Detroit is just a way of helping craft a person? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by Detroit making a man out of you.
Yeah.
All that bullying and just the environment, just in general. You just faced with so much stuff here, so many adversities and everything. Like, if you don't, you either gonna get swallowed or you gonna figure it out.
Yeah, right on. And so you were one of those people, you feel like you figured it out, and you feel like growing up in Detroit had something to do with it. And how often were you going back and forth from Detroit to these other states while you were growing up?
So I moved to Georgia first. I moved there in like the 8th grade. I was only there for like a year. Came back here for like another year, year and a half, and then my mama couldn't control me, so she sent me to live in South Dakota with my pops. My pops was actually out there. He did 10 years. When he got out, he moved to South Dakota to try to have a better life or whatever. And he brought me down there. I don't know why my mama sent me out there. My pops was
Well, you
down
said
there.
she couldn't control you, so I'm sure it has something to do with.
I mean, but shit, my pops was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a father-son relationship. We was partying. We was bitches at the house. My father, when he picked me up from the airport, he had a chick in the car with him. We stopped at KFC. He washed his hands. He said, when we get back home, young Paris Hilton gonna tighten you up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the gist of me being in South Dakota.
I would love to have a father like that. Damn, man.
Yeah.
But that's kind of crazy, though, because a lot of people look at their dad as like a father figure as far as a leadership role, or even if you don't have a good relationship with them, it's just a respect authoritative role.
Right.
Right. But you was like a friendship thing with you and your dad?
Yeah, definitely. My pops, he showed me a lot, too. He knew the type of stuff that I was into. So by the time I moved out there, I was, 15, maybe 16. So he knew what I was into, and he knew I wasn't gonna stop, so he more so sharpened me up. You know what I'm saying? The things that I was into.
I need to get some insight from your pops real quick. First of all, what was his number one move, like as far as ladies are concerned? Like what was his like move, or like what was his like approach or a thought process behind hooking up or getting with women in the first place, man? It sounds like he knew what he was talking about.
Let's get drunk.
That was the
Shit
move?
worked every time. We used to, my pops, he was a big partier or whatever. You know, he was locked up for 10 years. So when he came home, that's all he wanted to do was party. So,
Damn.
of course, I couldn't get in the club. So what they would do, my pops and his homeboys, they would call me and tell me like, hey, it's going to be a line of people coming from the club to the house. Now we going to pay you to let in the baddest bitches. And real shit. So I would stand at the door and pick like, hey, you can come in, she can't come in. You know what I'm saying? So by the time they got to the crib, they all drunk, they cashing me out, and shit, I got the house set. You know what I'm saying?
How do women feel like when they're being selected in like a group? You know what I'm saying? Do you ever look at one of the faces of the girls that didn't get picked? They're like, how does that fucking work? Because getting in the club, like even some guys can't get in there, but if a girl can't get in, that has to be like the most embarrassing moment of your career.
Shit, I had power at 15. I didn't give a fuck how they felt.
Damn.
Oh, you know what though? I was a pretty responsible person. At a young age, you know, I had to be. I've always been fairly responsible though. I'm goal oriented, so I guess that just coincides too. But yeah, just given that type of responsibility, I don't know, man, power for real.
Man, yeah. Talk about growing up from that point. So at this point you're kind of chilling with your dad and stuff like that.
Right.
Where do you get to the point of, okay, it's time to start making music or getting serious about making music?
I started writing music at 12. I used to be on punishment a lot. You know, so I would sit in the room and I had found a Walkman on the way to school. You remember the Walkmans?
Of course.
Yeah, I found a Walkman on the way to school. It had the Shine CD, the rapper that P. Diddy signed that sound like Biggie. Shine.
I never heard of him.
Nah, song he got.
But I do remember a guy that sounded like Biggie after Biggie passed away.
Yeah, that was so I found a Shine CD inside the Walkman. I took that home. And that was around like 12. I took that home, and I didn't have instrumentals at the time, so I would rap over him rapping. Shine was the first CD that I did that with. And it just evolved from there. So by the time I got to South Dakota, my pops, he was plugged in with a few people out there that was doing shows. I actually had my first performance in South Dakota, like the first week I got out there. So that was pretty dope. But yeah, I've always been involved with music. Like it's just always been a part of me.
When at that age though, once you're getting to like, you know, obviously 18, 19, 20, it's easier to get in the studio and get access to it and start recording professional tracks. Talk about that. Like when did you get into the studio and start taking it on the professional level?
That started in South Dakota too, actually. It was a guy named DGT down there. He had his own studio. And it was another group of guys named 605 Boys. Shout out to Bash Wise. They had their own studios down there, so I would record at that. They would let me come record for free. That evolved into me forming a relationship with a cat named Stress. He was from Detroit. So when I moved back to Detroit, he allowed me to come to his studio and record for free there too. So I really didn't start paying for studio time until I was like maybe 24, 25. I just built like relationships, and that's what I think it's about, like building relationships. Like that's the key. The richest man in the world is not the man with the most money, but the man with the most powerful friends. You got powerful friends, you can make anything happen. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, man. I always talk about that scene in Barbershop when Ice Cube sells the barbershop, and then Cedric the Entertainer tells him he's like, your dad wasn't broke because he invested in people. Like he didn't have a lot of money, but he had a lot of people around him that cared about him and would do whatever the hell he needed.
Yeah.
And if you have access to everything that somebody offers you, everybody has a different trade, then how could you ever be broke, right? Like how could you ever be in a position where you need to pay for something? People give up studio time. People shoot you a free music video. People will give you studio time. People will give you artwork, everything, if they know you're committed to what you're doing and they believe in you and they want to invest in you. So, like, a lot of people will ask for free beats and stuff like that. If you're not getting it, that means you're not proving that you're worth it.
Yeah, like JDI, I don't know if you're familiar with the cameraman.
JDI Films, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my close friends. For the first 2 years of his start, he shot my music videos for free.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean about powerful friends, and I'm like real firm on building together. I was starting off. He shot my first video ever. No, I had one before that.
What was your first video ever?
From the city.
You saying it like it was trash or like it was
no,
so long
man.
ago?
We shot that shit off like a fucking $60 digital camera.
$60.
Yeah, a $60 digital camera in an alley on Claremont and Woodrow. Yeah, it was a memorable.
What was it, like a Kodak camera? Like, what the fuck is a $60? Is there such thing as a $60 camera?
Not now. This shit was like 08.
God damn. Yeah. All right, so that was your first video of some bull. Yeah,
right.
You shot that bitch on the PSP video adapter for that bitch. So talk about, so you shoot that video. What was the reciprocation like, though? As far as just the music, forget about the video. Like, it could have only generated so much. But, like, what was the reciprocation like for you?
I was in love with it at the time because it was my first time, the first time I'm actually seeing myself on camera, rapping. So, I mean, that was the shit. And then a lot of people at the school, I was still in high school at the time. So, like, the fucking school was going crazy. Oh, shit, he got a video. It's on YouTube. I felt like I was on BET.
Well, because at that time it was probably relatively new, right?
Yeah.
Like YouTube too and stuff like that. Like as far as actually getting on there and having something up.
Yeah, because I think Soulja Boy was 07, so this was like a year behind that. So if you got a video on YouTube, that shit was like big.
Bro, remember when Soulja Boy dropped that, Crank That Soulja Boy? Like, I think people forgot how seriously huge that was. Like,
I just had a conversation with somebody last night about Soulja Boy. Like, Soulja Boy really is fucking influential.
Facts.
He is, man. That Crank That, man. Soulja Boy brought a lot to the game, man. I mean, Soulja Boy is Soulja Boy like that cousin that, you don't really fuck with, but he's beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best way to put Soulja Boy straight up.
Like he come around, it's like, all right, here he come.
Yeah, like he's. Damn, like I do want to talk. Like I'm sure he has a lot of interviews, and like you would want to talk to him just to see, like, are you really like this, or are you just playing this?
Yeah.
Like, is this really who you are, type shit? But like, he is super influential, man. Like, Crank That was probably the first YouTube video that I ever saw that went viral, like to that fucking degree. Yeah, and everybody at school singing it. Everybody's doing the dance. Everybody's doing everything. And I personally was sitting around like, this is whack. Like, that's all I remember thinking. I was like, this is fucking whack. Like. I grew up listening to Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Wyclef, and then this guy comes out. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
But you have to respect the new wave. Like possibly created a new wave of
He
music.
single-handedly changed the way that we listen to music and receive it today.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly believe that.
With
Because
YouTube?
it wasn't acceptable. That crank, that bounce, that dance, that crazy. I think he had a song called "Yeah, Bitch, Yeah." You know what I'm saying? He just got on the song and said what the fuck he wanted to say, and that gave the world the courage to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, big ups to him for that.
We'll talk about the process after. So you're dropping a song with a $60 camera. You know, your school's bumping it. It's obviously like motivating the hell out of you, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the next steps after that.
I just went into full force, like, recording mode. Once I threw that song out there and I realized, like, oh shit, I really got talent, you know? Man, I locked myself in the studio, and like I would lock myself in for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And I would just drop singles left and right. I was doing freestyles on Facebook. And that was back when, you know, you drop a video on Facebook, the shit just goes viral. Yeah, man, that's and that like all of that formed a relationship with a cat named Maceo, which is another one of my closest homeboys. He was introduced to me through a mutual friend, and that was the first person to invest in me, which was big. He actually I had a song with Ace Hood, I had a song with Kurt Cobain's. This was like, now we fast forward into like 2011, 2012. He put a lot of money into me. And I like at that time I just felt like we just knew we made it, you know? We knew we made it. And then an indictment came. And, you know, all that shit hit the fan.
And you're talking about that's on your end?
No, well,
or
on his end,
okay.
He caught an indictment. We was on the way to Miami, and the DEA snatched both of us up at the airport. They let us go, and then 3 weeks later, they ended up picking him up on the indictment or whatever. So
okay, and so that kind of puts everything to a halt.
Yeah, that shit stopped everything. It stopped all my motion. I mean, at that time, I think we was on the way to do a tour with you remember Kid Ink?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we was doing a tour. It was Kid Ink. I can't think of who else was on that tour. But it was a lot of those like up and coming rappers during that time. We were supposed to hop on the tour with them, and then the indictment happened, and we had just dropped the video on World Star. Funny story. We had put a video on the top slot to World Star, right? This when Q was alive. Owner of World Star, Q. So he was alive. It was between us, and this is a true story. It was between us and DJ Khaled. And Q fucked with my song so much, he said Khaled had to wait a week. So that was like I guess a milestone in my career.
Wow.
Like I was able to knock DJ Khaled off. You know.
So how relatively big was DJ Khaled at that time?
That was around the I'm So Hood. So I mean, he was just really popping.
Yeah.
So I mean, shit, he was big enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's how we got plugged. That was one of the reasons we got plugged in with Ace Hood for the feature. So
wow, that's crazy as hell. So this song comes out, or what's the requirement to have gotten knocked off? Like, what else did they look at?
Well, you just had to pay for real. I think it was $3,500 for the top slot at the time.
Yeah.
And shit, Q just fucked with our song more than whatever Khaled had going on. So
wow.
Like, that was a milestone. That was like shit. We just knew that we fucking made it, and then, like I said, that indictment happened, and it kind of fucked everything up.
Yeah. I mean, even did he have control of any of your music, like where it was stored or anything like that, or like?
No, I had all of that.
So what was the process as far as like, because that happens now, you have to stop making music?
It was the I'm trying to say it without.
It
was the back end. It was the back end.
Did you guys like say stuff in your songs that like you didn't want out there, or like what was the?
No. It was the finances as far as
okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, it was the finances. That's what, like, everything stopped. Like both our motion, just, you know, he got indicted. So, you know, at the time, we was doing whatever, but we both had to stop our motion. So
that sucks.
like he couldn't put up no cheese. I really couldn't. I ain't know if somebody was gonna be kicking my fucking door in.
So you're not even thinking about music. You're just like, yo, this is shit. Life just got real.
Hell yeah. That was the first time that some real shit really, you know what I'm saying, popped off.
Yeah.
So that kind of slowed my motion down. But he alley-ooped me over to my dog Twine. Shout out to In the Mix Pros. And that's Twine. I think it was me, Twine, Dre Butters, he was under the label at the time. Stewie, Vice Team Stewie.
Oh, cool.
He was under our label, under the same umbrella at the time. Nunu Thurman. Fuck, man, we had a dream team over there. But he alley-ooped me over there. He was going through whatever he was going through, and he like, hey, I want you to keep pushing Hitch. So he brought me over there, and we vibed out and worked for like maybe 5-6 years.
Wow.
Cold Cash Black.
Yeah.
Yep, he was under that.
He's producing a lot of songs right now, man.
Yep. Shout out to Black. Black just sent me a blessing the other day. I can't even lie.
Something you can talk about or no?
He.
It's a blessing.
Yeah,
all right, so that next.
Yeah, I don't even wanna,
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
He was it a bucket of cash? Like it wasn't.
No, nothing like that. Long story short, he had me write some hooks for a very fucking important mainstream artist.
Excellent, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's taking off too right now, man. He just like you hear so many. You remember when you were hearing his name on every song? It's like you're starting to hear his name on a lot of songs, and
hell yeah. And this is like Black, Dre Butters. Like we literally slept on the floor in Black's basement. 4-5 days at a time, like banging out songs and me watching them do beats and all of that. So to see both of them where they are right now is like fucking amazing to me.
Yeah.
And then they both reached back out to me. We locked in forever. We locked in for life.
So talk about this process now. You couldn't release music, and now you just like you become part of this group, kind of like where everybody's together with like Stu and everything like that. Was that kind of like the next thing that happens?
Yep.
And talk about the first projects that you guys had worked on and like how things turned out from there.
Well, each person was individual artists. So I think we at that time what we were doing was pushing one artist at a time, and everybody got behind him.
Oh wow!
So Dre Butters was the first person that went out under the label. So everybody was behind it. Like we was all on the street team. We was all promoting it. That's when what is it called? Press Play. They had the CDs in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
We was up there promoting and shit. Like everybody. We all just pretty much backed each other. I never officially dropped a project under the label.
You were support at that time, just like push whoever needs the push right now.
Yeah, but in return, I gained a lot of powerful friends.
Talk about that though a little bit, man, because a lot of people, we always talk about on the show, like, some people don't want to play the Indian, they just want to play the chief, and some people don't want to play the role of the support, they just want to be the guy who's getting the support. And the way I look at it is you might be pushing somebody for a long time and then nothing comes out of it. So I can see that angle of why you might not want to support or push somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What was your kind of perspective on it? And how did you stay in belief that something would come out of helping somebody else and not just worrying about yourself?
I was learning the whole time. That's all I was there to learn. I didn't care if I was the number one person in the room or the 10th person in the room. Hey, bro, you need anything? You need me to help you write a few lines? Anybody in here need water? Like, I'm going to play whatever role and whatever position I got to play in order for the greater good for us all, So I played every role, man. I was, I don't, and still to this day, I don't have a problem being second. I don't have a problem being third. Right now, I'm playing every fucking role possible, trying to build this company. So I don't mind.
Okay, yeah, I see that. For me, it's always scary, right? You're like pushing somebody, and then you gotta first of all take into account that they're responsible for themselves. So if they fucking decide to quit one day, maybe that 75 days or 150 days of work you put into them is gone, and they just quit. So I can see that perspective of it. but you're kind of going off belief and faith. Like
Yeah.
this person's going to do it,
Yep.
and I'm gonna help regardless, right? So very inspiring to kind of hear that. Did anybody? So Dre Butters obviously he's doing, he did his thing, man. Like he's out there. Like everybody recognizes his name. So you probably feel proud about that. Like
Hell yeah.
I'm part of the reason that got to that point.
Yeah.
And then talk about the next steps forward after that. So you didn't really release any music off of it, but what else outcomes did you see from working with everybody there?
I just built relationships. I built strong relationships with people. So every time somebody was in the room, and that's just my personality anyway, every time somebody was in the room, I was introducing myself. I was networking with them outside of that room. I was just building a strong team, for when it was time for me to press forward. And I did that. And in that, I gained lifetime friends. Because I'm a genuine person, so I am not a hard person to get along with. And then on top of that, I like to say that I'm very talented with music. So a combination of all of that, man, I got a potion, a dangerous potion. So after I gained those relationships, my life kind of went in a different direction. Like Dre Butters used to joke around all the time and say, like, at that time I was wild on top of that. So Dre Butters used to joke around all the time, like, man, he the shooter. You know what I'm saying? Stay away, he the shooter. And that wasn't the case, but you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, like I had a lot of I had to do some self-reflecting. So I went to church.
Damn.
Yep. Went to church for 3 years.
Did you kind of change your lifestyle completely, or was it just
Completely.
I'm adding church to it?
No, I completely changed my lifestyle. I think it was more so of me trying to find out who I was as a person. Yeah, because growing up, man, a lot of us don't even know that we suffer with identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who you really are. You just forced. A lot of us is forced to be whatever our environment causes us to be.
Yeah, man. The way that I always look at it is like this. It's like you can either accumulate who you are as a person unconsciously, or you can accumulate who you are consciously, right?
Yeah.
So when you're growing up, most likely you're living life unconsciously unless somebody trained you to pay attention to what the hell you're actually doing, right?
Right.
So you're growing up, you're unconscious, you're just doing stuff. And then one day you turn 18 years old and you realize you're like this person that's developed all these traits and all these qualities that you weren't even aware that you were building throughout your 18 years of growing up.
Right.
And now you got to take this 18-year-old with all these past memories and accumulation, and now you got to move forward in life. And that might not be who you want to be in life.
Exactly.
You might not even be who the hell you turned out to be because you weren't conscious of who the hell you were turning out to be.
Exactly.
Sometimes good parenting can fix that, right? Like if you have really good parents that help you stay aware of who you are, then as you're growing up, you're going to be able to stay more conscious of who you want to become. Some people get a hard life lesson that changes them and helps them become who they want to become. But some people just turn a certain age and they're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah, and that's exactly
and
what
they never
happened to
give
me.
up. Yeah.
I had a really fucked up childhood, if you want me to be honest. And I carried that trauma on into my adulthood, but I, subconsciously, I didn't know. So it took me really looking in the mirror and facing that man in the mirror, in order for me to make some critical life changes. So that plus a few other things happened. But I had to look at that man in the mirror and really say, okay, you've done everything else. You need to try God for a second. And that I did. I went to church for 3 years, cleaned myself up, found out who I was as a person. That's what I really got out of it. I found out who I was as a person, and then I found out who I wanted to become as a man. And then from that, you got the man that you're sitting in front of today.
Do you feel like growing up in Detroit has anything to do with the outcome of maybe negative traits that people have, or do you feel like it's just, do you think it's relevant to grow up in Detroit and have traits that might not be beneficial to you in the long term of life?
Hell yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
how do you think they develop? Does it develop because of just the surroundings or the parenting, or what do you think it is?
Yeah, it's certain things that won't be. Well, yeah. To answer your question, it's just your environment in general. A lot of things can come from within the household. Some things could come from peer pressure, But it's a lot of things that that can attach itself to you, that is not beneficial to you, and it's up to you. We only live one time, man. It's up to you to figure out what that is, and if you are adult enough to detach yourself from it as an adult. You know what I'm saying? As a grown man.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the biggest life lessons I learned. Like I learned, like, you know what, man, I think it's time for me to detach myself from the things that that I've really been running from subconsciously.
Mm-hmm. And finding that awareness is through church, right? So through church, you were able to sit down and kind of figure everything out.
Yep.
What's like? I mean, I don't know what church is like. Obviously, I mean, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I just know about church. But what's happening in there? Is it just like the speeches are incredible? Like, what's happening?
For me, it was a place I could seclude myself and have one-on-one conversations with God. It didn't necessarily have anything to do with the environment around me, because if that was the case, I'd have left out the doors a long time ago, if you want me to be real with you. But just me sitting there having that one-on-one with God and really like going down, opening up layers that I was scared to open up before, like being real with myself about certain things, like, that is really the key to where I'm at now. I had to sit down. I had to go through that.
After you spend time kind of getting yourself into a new transition and a new phase of life, what steps do you take after that for your music?
I was able to become who I really wanted to be, hence, Who Did I Become? That's one of my albums. I was able to just truly be myself, without fear, you know what I'm saying? Without worrying about what other people thought, because one of my... So I met Hi Davis like 3 months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that really like bothered me about who I was. I met him like 3 months ago. My friend introduced me to him at a bar. Went up to the bar, and I told Hi, I'm like, yeah, bro. I know, I'm cool with one of your people. I'm like, I do music, yada yada yada. So he like, you dope? Are you dope? I'm like, yeah. He like, I'm gonna call and ask. So he FaceTimed him. He was like, I'm telling you. He was like, if you trash, if he say you trash, I'm holding you right on the spot.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm like, all right, bet. So he called who he called, and they had like a private conversation for a second. And then he came back and he was like, yeah, he said you was dope. He said you used to be a menace to society, but you changed your life. He was like, you look clean though, nigga. But that right there, that bothered me, because my yesterdays was present with my todays. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these cats, man, run around screaming, I'm a demon, I'm X, Y, and Z, sulking and that negativity, but like, who are you really? I couldn't bridge that gap, basically. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like my yesterdays caught up to my todays, and like bridging that gap is a little bit more difficult if you don't clean yourself up.
Yes, man. Yeah, I'm just just my thing with it is just the consciousness of it, knowing the decisions of changing yourself and changing your perspective and how you approach life and how you approach situations and stuff. A lot of people never do it. They just like kind of go off of whatever's happening in their mind is like, all right, that's what's happening. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
But you took control over it. And I think the 3 years you took is like a huge factor of that, right? Because you get to kind of just take time alone. Instead of always being involved in something that's like taking you in different directions, you kind of just chilled out for a second and took time.
Yeah, I'm a hell of a lot milder.
Yeah. Talk about music that was coming out after that. Did music change as far as the type of content you're putting out after the 3 years that you held back? Or like, what was the first steps in music after that?
Ah man, the first steps was crazy. I started telling more of my life story, and that's where my music is now. Like it's a it's a chapter, it's a book, man, of my life story. Like if you press play, man, I could take you down so many different directions, and that's like what a lot of people love about my music, especially now. Like I got a song called "Strong Friends." It's about checking on your strong friends. You know, that song is crazy. Me and Dave Fio got a song called "Nothing to Prove," and that's just about a journey of me being locked up for a second and getting out, and man, it's just a lot, bro. So yeah, my musical journey has changed 1,000%, man. It's just more authentic. It's more real. It's me.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh yeah, my concert. Yeah, that's my concert went fucking crazy.
Yeah, talk about it, man.
Yeah, so I did a concert October 23rd. I just wanted to see where I'm at in Detroit because I got a lot of like my fan base really is all over. So I get a lot of shit in Texas, a lot of shit in Oklahoma, Atlanta. I just wanted to see where I was at home. And I did a concert here, man, at Bankroll. Shout out to Bankroll. Shout out to Crowd Freak too.
Yes.
I just left a meeting with them actually.
Which event are they planning for now? Is it the Winter
they doing
the Grinch one?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, it's cool as hell.
Yeah, I did a concert October 23rd. Man, I packed that bitch out, and that was like, shit. That was a great moment. Standing on stage and just hearing the whole entire room rapping my music word for word. That shit was that was amazing. Then a lot of people came out. Dave Fio came out. Janelle, she flew in from Oklahoma to be at the show. Yeah, CMF Gutter, Rio, fucking Terry Renee, like, man, the list goes on. Beezy 3969 franchise. Like, it was a lot of people that came out. Go Crazy Woo. You said who else? Two Down came.
Oh, yeah. I just seen him at the Crowd Freak had another event, the Hamburgers and Henny, not too long ago.
Yeah, I was there.
You were at that too, right? Yeah. And he was on stage, and I saw him, and I was like so happy for him because I was like, damn, finally, like motherfuckers are hearing you, bro, because he's been making music forever.
Hell yeah.
And people were like, that song, that Tanisha song really did something for him, man.
Fuck yeah, man, that shit went up. He came and performed. Him and Maury Corey both came and performed that shit at my show.
Yeah.
Shout out to both of them.
Talk about the song that you feel like has received the most reciprocation that you've put out, and what that song meant to you, and why you think it got so much reciprocation.
It's probably neck and neck between Vintage Venting and Strong Friends.
Yeah.
And those was two songs where I was, talking about some real shit, man. Like Strong Friends is, hence the title, Check on Your Strong Friends. It's just one of those songs where I was just talking about how people always hit my line, or people always asking for favors but never ask me if I need anything. You know what I'm saying? Niggas always hit my line when they in need of something. When the last time you asked me if I needed something? And then Vintage Venting, that's just a whole storyline about some real life situations that happened to me. But I'm an open book through my music, for real.
Yeah. What was like kind of views on that?
And Breakup Anthem. Fuck that. Breakup Anthem. Fuck that. Bitch, I don't need you for nothing. Hey, stop calling my phone. I ain't never need you for nothing. You try to play it right when you was wrong.
That's fire.
Yeah, I recorded that motherfucker right in this room.
God damn. I'm gonna have to post that as its own clip, man.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of rappers have to use auto-tune to get their shit to sound like that, but you kind of come out the gate, it's like you have it.
Yeah, Phil be telling me that shit all the time. Like,
Yeah.
man, no tune. I'll do a light touch, but no tune.
Yeah, it's crazy as hell. I always tell people that I'm like, man, listen, if you're gonna sing, just work on your voice. Like, don't just leave it. You know, like every craft you do, you have to tweak it up. You can't just like put it out there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and that's what I practice a lot too. Like, if I got a show coming up, I literally will sit in the living room and practice my set. A lot of people don't do that shit. And I feel like that's why a lot of my sets is as live as they is. That's why I got as much energy as I do. It's because I fucking practice.
How do you do it? What do you in front of the mirror? Or like, how do you practice?
Right there in the living room in front of the TV, the mirror, the window, whatever the fuck I can see a reflection in.
Yeah, that's fire as fuck, yeah. Preparation is everything, man.
Hell yeah. But Breakup Anthem, that shit is at 50,000 views on YouTube.
When did you release that one?
I released the shit last year, bro, but the traction just started coming out of nowhere like the last couple months. This shit just been explosive.
Cool.
Yep, yeah, the radio, it's been on the radio, 107.5. They actually played the song after my concert on the radio.
Oh, cool.
So that was like a dope-ass moment, too.
Yeah, hearing your shit on the radio for the first time has got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Was that the first time or did
That was the second time that I heard it on the radio. But they just hit me up like, hey, we playing this shit today. I'm like, oh, shit, I got a concert today. The shit kind of... Yeah, that's yeah. That was
did you sneak out for a second and try to listen to it, or how'd it happen?
Hell no, I was moving around. The concert was over, but I was taking pictures and I was still trying to sell merch and shit. I was trying to get every dollar out that shit.
Yeah, I feel that. That's crazy as fuck. That
Like,
getting spent on the radio is difficult, man. People think it's easy, like to get even the connections to speak with people on the radio, or for them to hear your song or anything like that.
Yeah, the shit happened, man. The shit happened really like on some miracle type shit. It was like a blessing. So I had did a fast, bro. And I took the kids to the auto show the day that the fast ended. And as soon as we went to the auto show, I get a cash app. Somebody had paid me for a feature. We leaving out of there, and I see Baby Money doing a radio interview with 107.5. So the kids wanted to stop because they like, we was just listening to him on the way here, So we take pictures or whatever. And I bump into Sale. Shout out to Sale, and shout out to DJ Gifted. And that it just really like coincided right after that. Like I just had a real genuine conversation with him, and he like, you know what? He was like, you got my word. I'll put it on there. He was like, just send it to me. I'll make sure it get on there.
Wow, man.
He put it on there, and then from there they spent it on their own after that. So
that's cool as hell.
that was dope.
That has to be motivating as hell, man.
Yeah.
Just people who even just talking to you and not working with you, and then after that, you get played on the station. It's freaking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What
The power of prayer.
What projects do you have coming up right now?
I just dropped the album I Am Who I Am. We got Gorilla Zoe on there. Janelle, Dave, Fio. My daughter is on there.
Really?
Yeah, me and my daughter got a song together called Daddy's Little Girl.
That's cool.
Yep. That's dope. That's dope. She told me she wanted to rap. We recorded that here too.
Yeah, I remember when Will Smith did a song with his son? That was crazy. It was just the two of us.
Yeah.
That shit was actually fire as hell. I think that's interesting, man, to you can only do that with music, right? Like basketball players, like LeBron can't play with his son for another 3 years probably.
Right.
But you can make a song with your kid
Anytime.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy as fuck.
Yeah, she was actually fire on there, bro, for real.
That's crazy.
Yeah. She's 7. Fucked me up, bro.
Is she going into the entertainment industry?
Yeah, she want to get back in here and do another song. She come to the studio with me all the time. She's actually on the album cover too. So
that's fire as hell.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Just talking to you, I feel like your mind is in a place where it knows how to get to the attention of the viewer and the listener, man. Do you feel like there's roadblocks coming up as a Detroit artist, though, that even with the way you present yourself, even with the connections you have, make it more difficult to kind of navigate through the scene and try to make something happen here?
I don't necessarily think there's any roadblocks now with Detroit because we all unified now. Atlanta did it, and New York did it, and Cali did it. So the world, not just the country, the world is really tuning in on Detroit music now. Babyface Ray just did a show in London.
Shit.
This summer. They was screaming Free Rio out there in England somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think now more than ever, Detroit is just unifying. You know, I had Ober Roland reached out and just told me my music was fire. You know, I've been fucking with Ober Roland's music for the longest. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, yeah, that shit was big. He want to collab. We gonna definitely knock some shit out. I done had a bunch of other people too, bro. That's willing to work. I had some producers that's sent me some beats, some heavy hitting producers that's done sent me shit just off the love. You know what I'm saying? Because they like the sound. So
fire. Is there a collaboration that stands out with you the most out of any collaboration you've done, or even if it was a feature?
Probably the Shame on Me with Janelle.
Oh, cool.
Me and Janelle, that's a dope. Or Bully remix with Detroit Barbie. That ain't even. Oh damn! I just. Well,
we can cut that
Detroit,
out.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Detroit Barbie is on the remix. We doing the remix soon. So she came fucking heat on there.
That's fire. Dave, I know his name is. They call him Dave Theo.
Theo. Oh yeah, and the Dave one. Dave one probably is like damn near at the top of my list.
You guys need to go check that. Dave's like, man, I think he's gonna blow the fuck up, bro.
Fuck yeah. And Dave is a genuine person. That's why he's gonna fucking make it.
Yeah.
Fuck the talent.
He's genuine.
Fuck everything else. Dave is just a genuine person, man. Like, I love Dave.
You can't be around him and not be just happy.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
What I'm saying? Like, just good vibes. Like, vibes just glowing from the motherfucker. Like,
yeah, he's just, man, I fucking love Dave. That's my dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, the track with me and Dave too. That's like it's called Nothing to Prove.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is, you gotta check it out if you ain't heard it.
No, I have heard it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
oh,
man. I've listened to, everything that Dave's done so far. No, obviously, no knock to you or anything, but everything he's done, I've listened to everything.
My dog.
Like,
my dog.
legitimately everything, because I know he's gonna blow up, bro. I know he's gonna take off. You being attached to is really awesome too, because now that you're getting able to make your run, you're already growing with the crowd freak and everything like that. It's like you guys are simultaneously gonna get it to that point where you guys are probably going to pop off at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So building that relationship now is important. But also, like, even going to the Crowd Freak events and going to the Bankroll's productions and having people go crazy for you and stuff like that. It's like, I always tell people, if 10 people fuck with you, then 100 people can fuck with you, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. Yeah. At the end of the day, how big do you really want to get as an artist? I know everybody always says, oh, I want to take over the world and stuff. Like, I'm personally not like that. Even if I was a rapper. I mean, I'm a drummer for a band. I don't want to be that fucking famous, bro. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I don't want people fucking stopping me at every corner and all that type of shit. I don't care about 100 million. I'm cool with like a $3 million, $4 million a year. And just shit like that. But like, how big do you want to get as an artist?
What I always preach, like my phrase or whatever, is Grammy family.
Okay.
You know, so I'm like in tunnel vision right now to get a Grammy. And whatever the fuck happened after that happens after that.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to shoot for a Grammy. If I miss, I pick up a BET award or a VMA on the way. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire as fuck, bro. That's fire as fuck. Is there anything you want to shout out to the audience before we sign off, man?
So you say what? Say that one more time.
Anything you want to shout out to the audience before we sign off?
Yeah, me and Detroit Barbie got a tax company that we opening up in January. Oh, right here. Me and Detroit Barbie got a tax company we opened up in January. Be on the lookout for that. Check out that breakup anthem too. Download that, stream it, watch the video. The video is fucking crazy. Watch the video. Follow me at Lance Hitch. I'm sure he gonna tag that in there.
Yes, sir.
Shit, and just stay blessed, man. Everybody stay blessed.
I appreciate you being a part of this, man. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with these future songs and that feat. I mean, I know you got that song you weren't supposed to drop, but I look forward to seeing that too. You know what? This is the first time on the show that somebody said a song that's been unreleased by accident. And so when that bitch takes off, I'm gonna be the first person to have talked about it, right? This is the first podcast anybody's ever known about that song.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so when it drops, I'm dropping this clip. I'm stealing all the clout I can from you when that shit drops. You notice that too, man. When somebody will have an interview with somebody, and then once they pop off, they'll repost that bitch like, oh, I had an interview with Baby Money like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, let me get that clout, my boy. Let me get all I can from that. So I will steal that moment from you.
And shout out to you too, man. You've been on your grind for a while. Like we didn't bumped into each other a million fucking times. But this is the first time we actually got to sit down and have a conversation. You
For
know,
sure.
a real one. So and I love the platform that you got, man. You giving artists an opportunity to be out there, man. You the Detroit Vlad for real without the snitching. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. See, I always say, like, don't compare me to Vlad, but if you take that part out of it, then I'm happy. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, Lance, I appreciate you being a part of this, man. We look forward to what you got going on. I'll come to one of your studio sessions one time, just kick it, man, see what you got going on. Because this is home to me. So
Me too. I've been recording here for like 4 years.
Yeah, me, you, and Phil should just fucking kick it in here and just chill out and record some music, man. See what's going on.
Let's do it.
Appreciate you for being a part of this, man. We're at Parallel Sound Studio. Hilo Visual shoots these productions. Don't forget about this, because if you want to turn up, this is the way to go. Whiskey and agave, and then the vodka as well.
Yep.
And,
Agave.
is there anything else with it? Any other ones, or these are the two types?
We waiting on the tequila line to drop. So we had a tequila real soon, and then we dropping a wine for Valentine's Day.
Fire. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We're out. Peace.